percentage has come since the 90s. The way they are put together, who knows how high they can push that franchise winning percentage.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. Tim Duncan, who's checked in for Diaw. Aldridge comes in for Anderson, and it's Ginobili in for Kevin Martin. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul. Here's Jackson. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
You could tell it was almost tunnel vision on that pass. Had no idea where the defender was.
And the dunk by Aldridge.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
To the inside, Duncan. Here's Jackson. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Shoots from the baseline. Rebound, Detroit.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
For Detroit, they have gone 3 for 3 at the line tonight.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
You know, the numbers from the line, guys, are close to where they were last year. But just a tad worse, so not too bad.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
Jackson. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And that concludes the first half. Pistons ahead. They lead by 6. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Coach, you're going to have to climb a bit of a hill.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down the first half action for you. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. They never trailed by more than 3 points, and it was neck and neck the entire. And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third.
Checking out the game Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is having. He has 9 points and 1 steal.
Offensively, defensively, man, he has done it all.
All hustle, non-stop effort. He just doesn't quit. Great resilience and relentlessness in his play.
Here's who Greg Popovich is starting in the second half. Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Duncan is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Leonard in at the small forward position. Jackson dishes to Drummond. Count that one. Drummond's got 8.
I love how he used his height advantage on that shot.
And he had the nice soft touch with it, too.
Reggie Jackson had made some noise about wanting a big contract to be moved last year. Ultimately, he was traded to Detroit.
Yep, Kevin traded from the Thunder to the Pistons, and it actually happened on deadline day.
Harris somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. And now an 8-point Piston lead.
Shaked and baked with the crossover move, and that's what freed him for the score.
He got him on the wrong foot and then just blew by him.
On the wing, Green. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Pistons leading by 8. Jackson with it. Inside. Drummond passes to Caldwell Pope. And the Pistons getting another bucket right there.
3 for 3, and that's always a good way to start the second half.
And San Antonio shooting a smooth 58% from the field. Everything going according to plan for them on that end. Nobody near Leonard. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open.
And guys, you know, Cantavius.
Come on, fellas, we got to pick up the pace.
Potential. See an open look, perfect size and length and speed for a two-guard. He plays both ends. Right now, it's all about consistency for him.
Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Caldwell Pope. West is checked in for San Antonio. Martin comes in for Leonard. Parker kicks it to West. And it's good on the assist by Parker.
Outstanding entry pass there. He knew exactly where to go with the ball.
On the topic of Caldwell Pope, he's the kind of guy who needs a year to feel his way around. In college grade, you may recall he showed dramatic improvement between years 1 and 2. The same thing has been true in the pros.
Yeah, and he has everything going for him. I mean, excellent outside shot, tremendous defensive tools. He just needs to add some strength and stay in attack mode to reach the next level in his development.
Pass to Morris. And the layup's good off the glass. Morris has got the lead up to 12 now for the Pistons.
And all of a sudden, you can see the confidence overflowing offensively.
Getting everything to drop and at an ideal time. I mean, they're poised for a terrific crunch time run here.
Offensive rebound. For Detroit, they've gone as spotless. 6 of 6 from the field since taking the court here in the second half.
Oh, I tell you what, nice little run here that they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again.
Parker kicks it to West. They kick it out to Green. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Detroit leading by 14. The drive by Jackson. Tries to save it, and it goes out of bounds. That one off West.
Pistons ball. 2 points, Big Ten.
Here's Jackson out to the right wing. Meeks inside the three-point line. They get it back.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Martin dishes to Parker. Back to Martin. Outside, Green. Picked by West. Back to Martin. Down low. And stolen by Drummond. The drive by Jackson. Meeks passes to Jackson. Shoots from the baseline. Hits some rim on the way in. And the bucket's good. Meeks got 9 points. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Detroit.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. There's been an attack mode on the defensive end.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Outside Jackson to the paint. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Looking at the game for Meeks, he has 9 points, and he was able to come up with 1 steal, too.
You know what? He's been a difference maker defensively today, Clark. He's disrupted more plays than the stat sheet will show.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game. And he makes the first. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for the Pistons. Johnson comes in for Harris. So he gets them both.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Here's Meeks. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively turning into quick points.
And that can't continue. I mean, if they hope to get back in this game, I mean, it's really deflating from a morale standpoint. They need stops and points, not turnovers.
Ginobili kicks to Anderson. Back to Ginobili. The Spurs working the ball around now. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his M.O.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years he has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach. And his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Detroit. Caldwell Pope comes in for Meeks. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Kawhi Leonard's checked in for Boris Diaw. Shots good by Mills.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. Boy, that was a nice job. A very good half for them from the field. They've got their shooting percentage up over 50%.
Yeah, their offense heating up, and anytime you shoot it this well, you're going to give yourself a chance to get the W.
Here's Duncan. No good there off the double clutch.
And the fadeaway was the only option he had on that one. Defender there all over.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Pistons lead by 17. And time to... And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Pistons leading by 17. Jackson and Caldwell Pope, the guards. Anthony Tolliver out there with Aaron Baines. And it's Johnson in at the 3 spot. That's the 5 on the floor for the Pistons. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
Morris inside. Aldridge is covering. Nice D from Aldridge. Spurs trail by 17. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Morris. And here we go. Here's Caldwell Pope. Rebound San Antonio. Aldridge has got 3 rebounds now in this one. To the wing right side. And Mills kicks to Aldridge. Takes it up with both hands and rips it down.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And, Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
And Mills kicks to Leonard. Cannot hit. And the Pistons now going the other way. Teardrop shot. Green with the rebound.
And it's just one of those days, guys. He has just struggled to shoot the basketball.
Shots good by Mills.
That was a nice finish to an excellent possession.
Pistons leading by 15. Jackson kicks to Morris. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spots. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be. They've been very untidy with the ball here. You commit turnovers when you try to do too much or you force it. They need to focus on making the simple play, good passes, and moving the ball around.
Drummond's checked in for Aaron Baines. And San Antonio also making a switch. Parker's checked in for Patty Mills. Spurs trail by 17. Parker dishes to Leonard. Here's Aldridge. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. 12 points for LaMarcus Aldridge.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
To the middle, here's Morris. Soft touch off the glass. And the Pistons lead by 17.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Harris inside, working on Green. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
Talk about some great numbers for Morris. He's got 10 points, and he's come away with 2 steals as well. He's blown up some plays out there.
And it also shows you the importance of intelligence as a defender because he has been a nightmare on the ball.
And Marcus Morris is nicknamed Mook. He has a twin brother, older by 7 minutes, named Markeith. Both brothers played at Kansas, drafted 13th and 14th in the same year. Eventually played for the same pro team. That is joined at the hip.
Parker passes to Aldridge. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
Duncan left side. And stolen by Drummond. Harris against Green. And Drummond kicks to Jackson. And he gets the bucket.
Almost uncontested. I mean, it's nice to be able to add to the lead without having to really work for it.
Spurs trail by 21. Over in the corner, Green. Shot on the wing. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got his 5th assist in this one.
And so last season for Tony Parker, somewhat of a shift. I mean, he was solid, but injuries cost him a few games. He also had his lowest assist and points per game totals since his rookie year. But he fought through like the champion that he is.
Detroit leading by 19 points. Jackson drives in, somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Great game for him, double-double now. 10 points and 12 assists. Last year, a big challenge for Tony Parker. He was in his 14th season, obviously. Every great player needs to transform his game as he gets on in age. Clark, we've seen it with the great ones. Parker did put up the highest three-point percentage of his career last year.
And he also ran the offense with tremendous poise and professionalism and cut down the turnover average as well, the lowest of his career.
San Antonio calls timeout.
Way too many shots in close, and he's got to get his guys to cut that down in terms of points in the paint.
Clearly the reason for the timeout, Greg. I mean, he wants his guys to toughen up inside and start protecting the rim.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, over the break, I listened in on Stan Van Gundy's huddle. He made no mistake that their plan was to run their offense through Morris. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. He also wants them to concentrate on working as a team at the offensive end. Passing, patience, and teamwork, those were the messages. It's pretty late in the game to be altering the game plan, but they're going to come out with a different look here, guys. Back to you.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Pass to Leonard. Lets it go from 14. And good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
There's 1:47 left in the fourth quarter. Harris a screen on Parker. Jackson. And Harris gets it to go on the assist by Jackson. And 11 points for Tobias Harris. Leonard on the wing. Now the pass to Aldridge. And here's Jackson.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Pistons.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that.
And when you look back at this one, what an amazing performance this was for Morris. He was doing everything right, and the points came in bunches. Definitely had the hot hand.
I tell you what, at this point in his career, it is safe to say, actually has been for a while, that Duncan might be one of the best power forwards ever. He is, clearly. 5 rings, 50-win seasons, his whole career. The complete package on the box.
And the Pistons, an entirely new group now out there.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there. Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
And Duncan, who briefly contemplated retiring after last season, showed in the playoffs, Greg, he is still very much at the top of his game.
Listen, Tim Duncan, for me, is the greatest power forward to ever play the game, although Pop will tell you he's actually a center in the power forward's body. I mean, what a great matchup. Yeah, how great was he, I should say, in the matchup against the Clippers last season. And throughout his career, he has been more consistent than a clock. I mean, it doesn't matter the year or who he's up against. This guy just finds a way to leave his mark on the game.
San Antonio making a switch here. He's off on the second.
And you really got to admire Boris Diaw. I mean, he's found a way to kind of reform his game as he's gotten older. I mean, so different than when he was new to the league. You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
Straight frustration right there, and I agree with you. Self-control of your emotions, a must-have if you're going to play winning basketball.
Here's Baines, and it's blocked. Five seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Marjanovic. Can't cash in on the 10-foot jumper. Now Blake. And so it's the Pistons taking care of business here. They poured it on tonight, Clark. A dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved
the 2K Sports postgame show.
Thanks, Kevin, and let's take a look now as we give the nod to our Jordan Player of the Game. He notched his season high, and his scoring really seemed to set the tempo for his team tonight.
He was dead on from the field.
And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show. From myself, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal.
And it's the Pistons to start out. All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Spurs. Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Kawhi Leonard is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Duncan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. On defense, San Antonio. Morris dishes to Jackson. The Pistons working the ball around now. It's stolen by Duncan. And the Spurs pushing it up now. And here they go. And it's sent back by Drummond. Harris against Leonard. Harris kicks to Jackson. Good, and Harris gets the assist.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
About a minute played so far here in the first.
And guys, when you go to look for holes in the game of Tobias Harris, there really aren't any. One of the hardest workers in our league. If he has any weakness at all, it's his average size speed combo, which most likely will keep him from becoming the perennial all-star type.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Well, last season, the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
The Pistons with a quick start to this game. Morris, left side. The offensive rebound, and it's Drummond with the jam.
And a few more points tacked on to their lead in the cruelest way possible.
You're right. Those putback jams sting, don't they, my goodness?
Yeah, they really hurt you. I mean, the defense forces a miss and then can't rebound it and finish off the defense. They're hanging their heads in their chest now. And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but I really feel like they are on the right path. They are 0 for the game thus far. 0 of 4 here, still looking for their first make.
Great positioning on the putback. Drummond's got 6 points.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Here's Duncan, and off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him.
And boy, did they need that one. They're first make in the 5 field goal attempts they've had.
And they go to the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Jackson drives in, goes up and lays it nice and easy. He has 5.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
Parker passes to Duncan. Left side, Leonard. Aldridge kicks to Parker. Baseline jumper, and a great assist by Aldridge as that one goes. goes in.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Parker's got his first points in this one. Detroit leading by 6.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Don't take your eyes off of him because he can make plays from multiple spots on the floor. Put the isolated cam on him.
Well, you've got Greg Popovich, and I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time.
Now off to a strong start here early. 6 points off second chance buckets.
Yeah, and you know what, Greg? You like their effort level here in the early going. I mean, they're really making things happen for themselves.
Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Harris. Leonard against Jackson. On the wing, Harris. Harris missing again.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Duncan dishes to Aldridge. No good. And it's Detroit the other way. Jackson has the open look. Caldwell Pope. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. Jackson's got his third assist on the night.
Andre Drummond is a big guy. At the NBA Draft Combine, he measured 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan. And he tipped the scales at 280 pounds. That's a super heavyweight, my friends.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Marcus Morris. Johnson comes in for Tobias Harris. And it's Jody Meeks in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. David West is checked in for Duncan. Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Kevin Martin is checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Drummond. And on the topic of Andre Drummond, Greg, there are a few guys in the league who combine his kind of size with the type of athleticism he possesses. Fast up and down the floor, quick off his feet, even sports a little hang time. I mean, the guy's got a full package athletically.
You talked about the raw physical tools. Then you factor in the two things as a big that I really value. Great hands and quick feet. And he's got that going for him. So you can't go through him. You can't go around him. And you certainly can't go over him. I mean, what's left?
We can only hope to contain him, as they say. Second free throw, no good. Spurs trail by 12. 54 seconds left to play here in the first. Mills passes to Anderson. Leonard attacking. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the wide. It could be a three-point play.
Yeah, how about that one? Able to maintain control and finish the play.
Yeah, we call that playing through the whistle. You know, he didn't give up on it when he heard the whistle. He kept his focus, his concentration, and he found a way to get the shot up and down.
Well, you know that Kawhi Leonard has an incredible reach with his arms, but even his hands are just massive, measured at 10 inches long and 11 inches wide. Wow.
Not the guy you want to send to the line, Kevin.
Well, to give some perspective on Leonard's hand size that Greg was talking about, Clark, those measurements, 11 by 10, are what you typically would find on 7-footers. Well, this kid's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, and I'm 6'9", and I'm about 9 by 7, okay?
Huh.
So that just lets you know.
Wow.
The only other hands comparable to that, Dr. J.
Ooh, yes, huge. Now, here's Anderson. Stolen by Jackson. Over in the corner, Meeks. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Kawhi Leonard with the rebound. Spurs trail by 11. To the middle. Here's Mills. And Baines pulls it down.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
That's good.
How about the start that they've gotten off to here? Huge lead, and we're still in the first quarter.
And, guys, it hasn't just been the scoring. I mean, they're playing tremendous defense, too.
And a double-digit lead on the scoreboard as we end the first quarter of play. And a chance to hear from Tony Parker, who said he lives for the challenge of continuing to improve. And in Tony Parker's case, great is what he wanted to be and has been for a long time.
You know, that's great because that shows pops and why he's one of the best in the game. You got to be able to drive and motivate and also give the confidence. And that's what's happened with Tony Parker. Remember when he first came on the scene, it was not a cakewalk for him. He had his struggles, and now we're talking about a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Welcome back, everyone, to lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Pistons.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is working hard on the offensive glass. They've had a number of putbacks.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. Mills and Manu at the guards. Anderson is out there with Martin. And it's Diaw in at center. Pistons leading by 13.
And the Spurs last season became the first franchise to hire a female assistant coach. A big step, not just for the Spurs, but really for all of the NBA.
Looking for Aldridge, he gets it there. Shot is off. Good D by Drummond.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats, that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
Morris kicks to Jackson. Detroit, no good that time either.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide-open opportunities.
Down low, here's Diaw. Good work defensively by Morris.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it. A three-point play.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
The Spurs making a switch here. Green's checked in. Morris, no good on the free throw. Just a bit of an up-and-down year for the Pistons last season. Had some long winning streaks and some long losing streaks for first-year head coach Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, Kevin, some would say it was addition by subtraction because they really went on that big run after they released Josh Smith. 7 straight wins for them at one point, and they also did have some giant lulls.
Duncan, he's checked in for San Antonio. Detroit leading by 15. Here's Caldwell Pope. 7 points in the game. And that one hits back iron.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
Passes to Morris. Plenty of space. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one.
And, you know, those giant lulls were a big part of the Pistons' season. I mean, their biggest losing streak was 13 straight losses, and a lot of that you attribute to their defense.
Morris against Ginobili. There's the feed to Caldwell Pope. Jackson kicks to Drummond. San Antonio with the rebound.
And the Pistons also went into a slump after they traded for Reggie Jackson. 1-9 after the trade deadline. They would end the season on a better note, but truly they were streaky last season.
Another turnover and another basket the other way.
And the miscues this quarter, guys. How about 4 points that have gone the other way, and that's not how they're going to narrow this gap.
Jackson against Green. Jackson drives in. Here's Drummond. Out to Harris. This one for three. Green with the rebound. Spurs trail by 17. Ginobili gets the bucket. Ginobili's got 4 points this quarter.
Love the aggressive attitude. I mean, no invitation needed for him to take it strong to the basket.
Kicks it to Caldwell Pope. Drummond with a screen on Ginobili. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
Spurs ball.
And a different look here for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Drummond. Tolliver comes in for Marcus Morris. Johnson, he's checked in. For Harris, and it's Jody Meeks in for Reggie Jackson. Then for the Spurs, West is checked in for Diaw. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Manu Ginobili, and it's Mills in for Tony Parker. Leonard, no luck.
Awesome defense. I mean, he'll hit those unless you're right in his grill.
Kawhi Leonard, with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player to win one since 2004. That just shows you how incredible his defense was at times.
And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Heads up action there. Reading the play and then beating him to the spot. Well done.
The Spurs making a switch here. Anderson's checked in. Detroit leading by 17. Now, here's Meeks, and Kyle Anderson gets the whistle that time. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
1:49 left in the second quarter. Caldwell Pope dishes to Baines. And David West gets the whistle that time.
David West. That's his second personal foul.
Detroit shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And, Kevin, it's something they've been working very hard to correct and to change. I mean, they know how important it is to fix that inability at the free throw line.
Good on the second free throw. 1:42 left to play here in the second quarter. And Leonard has it in the corner. To the inside, here's Green. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Green's got his first basket. Detroit's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Pass to Tolliver. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Haven't we seen that a few times today, guys? I mean, their defense has got to have a little bit more toughness about it.
Well, the Spurs just don't go on losing streaks very often, Greg. One perk of being a talented veteran group.
Yeah, how about the Spurs lost 4 games in a row twice last year. Over the last decade before that, Kevin, they had only lost 4 games in a row twice. Unbelievable.
San Antonio calls timeout.
And you look at the Spurs and how they avoid losing streaks. I mean, most teams losing 4 in a row wouldn't be such a big deal. It's only a big deal for the Spurs because they're so consistent year in and year out.
Martin's checked in for Daniel Green. 1:14 left here in the second. Mills passes to West. Shoots from 12. No good. And the Pistons now going the other way.
And guys, for the Spurs, a big reason they rarely go on losing streaks is that they have no bad matchups. One of only 3 teams in the NBA last year to defeat every other NBA team. Winning for this group is just second nature.